Alrighty. Welcome back, everyone, to episode 37 of The Topic. This episode is brought to you by Surge Beat-Based Cycling. Surge transforms your body and mind, as well as boosts your metabolism and, most importantly, builds a community. Surge focuses on high-intensity and low-impact workouts that target all the major muscle groups through a series of challenging sequences, climbs, and sprints, all on a stationary bike. For only 45 minutes out of your day, it's just you and the bike. Surge has created a studio room with technology that allows you to focus on yourself. All you have to do is show up. Surge is really official. They have their own app, so that's pretty badass. It allows customers to look at class times, look up directions, and see who the instructors are for each class. Along with a great app, they also have their own website where customers can learn more information about schedules, pricings, and offers. Surge offers discounts to customers who are in school. Also, they have monthly, weekly, and punch card memberships to fit around everyone's busy schedule. If you're incredibly interested and want to receive some more information, you can reach the owner and operator, Amber, at 720-603-1047, or her email address is amber@surgespin.com. If you want to stop by and check the place out, they're located at 348 East Bridge Street, Brighton, Colorado. Secondly, we're brought to you by BDS Metals, a certified welding fabrication company from Brighton, Colorado. The owner and founder of the company, Brock Stricklet, uses horseshoes that are worn and used and then recycled into whatever the customer orders. If you're interested in customizing any order or just want to get some more details, you can reach him at 720-951-5505. Lastly, we're brought to you by hands down the best place to train martial arts, Zingano BJJ Academy, which is also based in Brighton, Colorado. Zingano provides the best teaching of all MMA styles. They primarily teach Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai, but if you're interested in more, they also do offer wrestling and MMA classes. To start out, you have a full free month of whatever you'd like to try, and then you can go from there. If you'd like to find out more information about Zingano, you can reach them at 855-946-4266. If you want to swing by and take a look at the gym, they are located at 2315 Prairie Center Parkway, Brighton, Colorado, right across from the new Crumble. So go get a few cookies and then go work it off at Zingano. You can also check out their website at brightonmartialarts.com. That just allows customers to check out different teachers, different instructors, and kind of get a better feel for the place. All right. Thank you to our sponsors for episode 37. Today we are welcoming in special guest Nathan Hansen, who competes around the country as an American Ninja Warrior competitor and is a full-time student at CU Boulder. How you doing, bro?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
Good, man. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
So what are you up to?
Full-time ninja, full-time school. So it's kicking
I like
my butt
that.
for sure.
I like that, bro.
Totally.
So where do you normally train at?
So I train at a gym called Ninja Nation. It's in Lafayette, Colorado, kind of near, if you guys know where Flatirons Church is. It's literally like across the street. And it's like one of the top facilities for training right now. We actually just franchised that company so that we're going to be able to spread those all around the country. I actually work for them as well, so I'm a coach there. I work there part-time because I'm a full-time student and I have to train full-time, so that I get to fit that in, so I make a little bit of cash flow while I'm also in school. So yeah.
What's that like, being a full-time student and training full-time and teaching?
It's really hard, especially school-wise, because CU Boulder is such a prestige university, and I'm in business school, so it's actually even harder to get all that stuff done and make networking connections, kind of try and come up with new inventions and build off of those, along as I know if I'm not training harder than I think I can, then someone else is probably training harder than I am. So
Right.
That's a good mindset, yeah.
That's good motivation. Wait, so how long have you, full-time been training?
About a year and a half now.
Damn, really?
Yeah, or a year and 9 months, something like that. Yeah.
So I kind of have a good idea of what it is, but for our viewers, kind of give us a little overview of what you do.
Yeah, totally. So if anyone's familiar with the show American Ninja Warrior, if you've seen it on TV, it's usually just about 5 or 6 obstacles that you run a course over water. And these obstacles are elevated probably 20 or 30 feet in the air, so it's very intimidating. for a lot of people to do. And the obstacles themselves, at least in my opinion, they're not difficult. They're just hard to do first try because the stuff that we train, they don't base the show off of that. They kind of just make their own obstacles that they hope that no one has seen or tried before. So then when you go and you try them, they don't want everyone failing, obviously. They want a show where some people succeed and some people don't. But usually it's a lot of upper body endurance. There's usually at least one balance obstacle. But yeah, basically what American Ninja Warrior is a bunch of elevated obstacles, typically upper body and a little bit of balance that you have to make your way through. And then a giant warped wall at the end, or a giant spider.
And is it all you have to complete it in a certain time limit, or is it just kind of as quick as you can do it?
So it depends. So how the show kind of works is there's a city qualifier, and if you make city qualifiers, then you go to city finals. And if you place top 12 in city finals or top 15 for the men and women, you go to Las Vegas, which is national finals, and then there's stages 1, 2, 3, and 4. And stages 1 and 2, there's time limits on. Stage 3, there's not because it's so difficult. But they only give you 30 seconds of rest in between each obstacle. And then stage 4, you have to climb 80 feet of rope in 30 seconds. So
stage 4.
Yeah, stage 4. They call it Mount Midoriyama.
Has anyone? I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Only like one dude has completed, right? Like one or two dudes.
If you're talking about like on the show, like in season,
right?
My boss, his name's Jeff Britton. He actually was the first ever to complete Mount Midoriyama. He's still the only one to this day who has hit all 6 buzzers, meaning he hit one in qualifying, finals, and every buzzer on stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. 6 buzzers.
Jesus.
He's the only one to do it perfectly. And then the season he made that, there was another guy named Isaac Caldiero. He's from Boulder. He's a savage rock climber. And he actually ended up beating Jeff's time, so he was the one who won the $1 million. But Jeff, because he ran first, was claimed to be the first American Ninja Warrior. Because he was the first to complete all 4 stages along with the qualifiers, obviously. But Isaac was the first one to he kind of got the title because he had beat his time. So
all right,
yeah, Jeff didn't see the $1 million, but yeah.
So what's that dude's name that's really famous here from Brighton?
I was just gonna ask.
Yeah,
what's his name? Is it Brian?
His name's Brian Arnold.
Yeah.
Brian Arnold.
Actually,
okay.
I saw him last night too. He was at the gym. He also
Really?
works for Ninja Nation. Yeah,
Nice.
so we actually have a mobile course that we take around the country, and we can set it up in like people's backyards.
Oh,
and,
That's the one that's by
is
the
that
Oasis,
the one?
right?
Yeah, that's right
Yeah.
across the
Okay.
Oasis.
Yeah. So
okay,
like
I
at Brom-
live right by there. So
Oh, really?
Yeah, you guys go there like what once a year?
Yeah,
or
so
something?
we call it the the October Ninja Fest or whatever. Usually it's like at Halloween time, that whole month of October. It's every weekend, and there's a $20,000 prize pool.
Jesus.
And so if you it's split up in age, or not age divisions, kind of. I mean, you have to be 18 or older to run the course. But people are flying around from out of the country because the fastest time from the male and the female get $5,000 apiece, and then it goes down. So like I think second place gets 2,500, third place gets 1,000, fourth gets 500, 250, or 100. Like that's how it works, and that's in male and female. So people are flying like even across the world, because there's this girl that I know, her name's Olivia Vivian. She's like an Olympic gymnast, and she flew from Australia, Sydney, Australia, to come and win $5,000. She won this year. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
she's
impressive.
Yeah, it's very crazy. So people are very dedicated too.
And it's an year-round thing, right? There's
Yeah,
no off days or no off season.
Yeah, there is a little bit of the off season, which is like the summer after June, because that's when Vegas is filmed. But we have tons of ninja leagues. Like what people don't really see is that there's the show American Ninja Warrior, but then there's a lot of leagues as well. So like on Wednesday, I'm flying out to North Carolina to go compete at World Finals for National Ninja League. It's like the biggest ninja league that exists right now. And so people are flying from across the world to go compete. I'll compete against like 2,000 people next weekend. And
Next weekend?
Yeah, next weekend.
North Carolina?
Yeah.
So you said?
Yeah, it'll be in Greensboro. Yeah.
And so when you every time you go through a run, how many times is it like one and done? Like
Yeah.
you could really? So
yeah,
you could,
so it also depends on the league though. So like National Ninja League is like your run, you don't get to practice obstacles. Like you warm up and then you get on the starting line. You can kind of plan out what your moves are going to be, but you don't know what anything feels like. It's exactly like the show. Like you fall, you're done, right?
Really?
So yeah, so that's what's awesome about NNL. It's my favorite league. Is because it's just so cutthroat. There's no like grace, like, oh, your foot might have dragged on a pad and helped you. It's very cut and dry, which is really cool because then it's like there's no advantages and stuff like that. So we don't get to practice the course. We never get to see the course until they go through rules, and then when we see the rules, then maybe they give 15 minutes until their first runner. So you have to be ready to run first because it's randomized.
Right, and all obstacles are different.
All obstacles are different, absolutely, yeah. And usually at like such a wide world event, the obstacles shift like dramatically because just like the show, like they don't want anyone to have tried the obstacle. It should be very different or something very difficult to separate the good from the best.
Right.
So
is it going to be televised?
Yeah, you guys can watch it. National Ninja League does a YouTube live stream on YouTube. Yeah, so if you guys go like follow them and do all that, then it's not just an adult thing either. There's kids, there's youth divisions and stuff like that. So they have like juniors and preteens and teens, and then they have the adults, and then they have masters, which is like older people too.
Right.
Which there are some older people out there who are elite savages. Like it's pretty sick.
What division are you in?
I'm in the adult pro division.
Pro.
There's also adult amateur, but I just skipped that because if I want to be the best, I'm going to compete with the best. That's how I view it.
Yeah, that's a good mindset. So is adult like, is it 18 to just...
Yeah, so 18 and up is, I think the age limit for that, it might be 16. I don't know where they cut off teen exactly, but how I kind of view it is... especially in the sport of ninja, it's like a very individual sport. So although you're competing against a lot of people, it's not something that where like if Kevin were to run a course, right, and he doesn't do too well and say he's like one of the best people in the league, just because he failed something shouldn't affect my run at all, because my run is my run and not his, and my run's my run, so it shouldn't affect yours either.
Are there team leagues and stuff like that you could join?
There's not many teams. I think last year there was one thing called Rocky Mountain State Games, and they kind of tested it out, but it was kind of like half and half, and it didn't really work out. It wasn't very popular, so they kind of gave up on that. It's kind of hard because the ninja community is so big and it's so broad, and everyone wants to be on a team with each other, so it's like you can't have one person on two teams. It has to be very cool. But it's hard in an individual sport because then everyone is depending on each other rather than like you just doing what you're doing.
Right. Well, it's kind of like individual, like track events. Like it's just you against the time. It's not you against anyone else. It's just you beating the time.
Yeah, exactly. And then it like if you were to do a relay, that's kind of like what it is in ninja. Right. Like I did one comp like that where it was like as soon as I get halfway through the course, my partner ran the second half. But then if he were to fall, like that kind of sucks for me because I cleared the first half. So it's really hard because if it's almost like, I don't know if you guys do big projects or something. I'm definitely that kind of guy. Is like I'll do the whole project just to make sure it turns out really well. Like I want to be in control like at all times. So the team thing like is kind of fishy for me. But I think the individual part is really cool because everyone trains differently. Like whether it's how many days a week you train or the way you eat, like all that stuff is different.
I've seen like on NBC, whatever, it airs on American Ninja Warrior. I've seen team, like USA against
like, so they did
China
test a few,
or like Japan. I can't remember what it was, but I've seen team like pretty big, pretty big up there.
Yeah. So basically, after Vegas, the stage 1, 2, 3, 4, what they do is they, in that same week of filming, they just film it all at once, except it airs later. They do a USA versus the world. And so this year it was like Europe, I think, it was Europe, Australia, and the US all competed head to head. And so it was like the top 5 athletes from each country that they hand selected. And so those people, they kind of separate in 1, 2, 3, and 4, and like so stage 1 you get like 1 point or 3 points if you finish better than everyone else, and then whoever got second gets 2 and whoever got last is 1. Obviously the more points you get the better. So Australia ended up winning this year. And it changes. It's actually really cool to watch because like we don't get to see all those guys compete. There is like Australian Ninja Warrior, and then I don't know if it's called European Ninja Warrior. It's probably just like, I know there's German Ninja Warrior and stuff, but this is like a worldwide sport and it's growing like super fast.
So this is a pretty new sport too, right?
It's very new.
Okay.
Yeah.
What year like around from when was it originated? I guess.
So we're on our 12th season right now.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
That's of American Ninja Warrior, but there was a show called Sasuke, and that's been around, I'm pretty sure, for like 30 or 40 years.
Even
like,
then, that's still
30,
40 years.
right.
That's still young.
Yeah, but we didn't have a winner for many, many years. But yeah, the Japanese Ninja Warrior that they call Sasuke, that's the real deal. Like, that's where it all originated. That is like where American Ninja Warrior came from. But if you kind of look at like the progress of like how the courses have grown, they've gotten so much harder. Because like if you look at American Ninja Warrior like season 3, and you look at those obstacles, we look at those now, like, how did no one win? Like, how has there not been a winner? Yeah, you know, like all of us could do those in our sleep now. It's just a rope swing or whatever it may be. And now we're doing obstacles where like you have to catch something that's on the other side. You can't see it. Mm-hmm. You're blind grabbing, or things are moving and you have to time it right.
Right, the sport evolves.
Oh, totally. Like, yeah, it's getting harder because we're getting better. You know,
exactly.
that's just how it works.
That's how it's going to be for forever.
Yeah, totally.
So do you think this is something like the sport could have potential like to be in the Olympics or something like that?
100%. Yeah, like I think the USA versus the world thing, like, that's on TV obviously because people like to see it. But I definitely think that like
it's like building the foundation
Olympics,
for it. Yeah.
So actually, there's another league called Ultimate Ninja Athlete Association, and I think they hosted a thing in Russia this last year, and it looked like American Ninja Warrior, the show, like full truss bays over water, and there was like I think 8 obstacles including the warped wall, and it was like whoever got the fastest time was crowned like this champion, you know, which is typically like that's what National Ninja League Worlds are going to be like too, but this is usually it's just like it's not over water in that case. Usually the leagues just stay like above the ground and just don't touch the ground, you know, don't fall. But that whole event, I heard from international people who I know that they were just like, that was such a sick event, and that's what the Olympics are going to end up looking like, is like side to side or one big course and you're just going and going and going. Like
it's like a race.
Yeah, it would be really sick if like 3 courses that were like all the same, and you had like say Australia, Europe, and USA all in one, and you just gave them the go, and it was just like a race.
That would
like
be crazy.
That'd be absolutely nuts.
That'd be intense.
But it'd be pretty hard, because if you wanted to do it so well, what people don't know is like the obstacle setups for like American Ninja Warrior are really hard, because it's hard to engineer that and then keep it working. So I know people who have tested that they've literally held on an obstacle for a while just because they had to wait for someone to go up there and fix it. And it's pretty scary because you don't know if it's just going to break, you know. But usually on the show they're very good about that, having testers and stuff like that. So
have you competed over water?
I've never competed over water.
No. Will you this upcoming weekend?
No. That will be basically how they set that up, is just like it's like 3 or 4 truss bays down, and then you just flip a U and you come back, but it's on the other side, so it's like 2 by 3 truss bays, and they're just obstacles, but there's just pads underneath them, just so that we're not getting water everywhere. And this is also at an indoor convention. It's like a giant convention center, because they have to set up so many courses and stuff like that. There's any league, it's like you rarely see it over water. I think there's one called UBW, and it's like an outdoor course, which is why they do it, but it happens like once a year. So yeah.
So what's a truss bay? Is that just
a truss bay? Yeah, so you guys, if you guys know, like you can see it at like concerts. It's like the metal support that like there's just cross beams and stuff like all over the place going up. That's truss. Yeah, so there's just like giant bays of that, and then they can attach obstacles inside of it and stuff like that. Yeah.
So it's just the skeleton of what?
It is, yeah. It's just the skeleton. It's like if you were to draw just like squares and rectangles of what the support beams were, that's truss. Yeah. Yeah.
What got you into it?
So Brian Arnold, actually. Yeah,
really?
The guy from Brighton. Yeah, I was actually like, I lived in the same neighborhood as he does, and so then I was on a run with my dad. I had met him, and then ran into him a few times. We went to his meet and greet at the spot in Boulder, and then that's when we finally were like, hey, like we live in the same neighborhood as you. Found that out. And then he used to be like part of that wolf pack thing. I don't know if you guys ever heard about that, but it didn't last like too long, but then he held another event, and then we went to that, and that was like my whole like, oh my gosh, like I could actually be really good at this, because I'm so small, but I also weigh nothing. So it's like, and my arms are like super long. Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with like how wingspan's supposed to work,
Mm-hmm.
but basically your height is supposed to be equivalent to your wingspan, and you guys can like measure this at home, but mine is positive 4 inches. So my arms,
Really?
yeah, my arms are 4 inches longer than my body height. I'm like, my wingspan is 5'6" and I'm 5'2". So that gives me a huge advantage, yeah, because most people are either normal or negative, meaning that it's actually shorter. But when people think I have a height advantage, I really don't, because realistically, like when I'm flying through the air, I have 5'6" body, is basically how it works, which means I can throw farther, and I weigh only 115 pounds, so it's like I can throw so much faster and so much harder. Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you know that like the whole human body's like that? Like certain things are proportional. Like the corners of your mouth line up perfectly with the middle of your eyes.
Oh, really?
And like your
Really?
foot's the same
yeah,
size
the
as your
forearm.
forearm.
Yeah, I knew
Yeah,
that
I
one.
knew that.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
So
Generally, not for everybody.
Right.
Like,
Right, yeah, it's
So-
always-
It's one of those advantages though that you have.
absolutely
clearly.
yeah.
So you also, not only are you doing this ninja thing, but you're going to school.
Yeah.
Going to CU Boulder.
Yeah.
So if you're going to CU Boulder and you work in Lafayette, where are you living?
I'm living on campus. Yeah.
Okay.
So freshman year, it's required that we lived on campus, but then I didn't really have a problem with it. I thought it was awesome, and because I have a full ride scholarship, my scholarship covered it.
Oh, you have a full ride, huh?
Yeah.
You got the Daniels Fund, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
That rings a bell.
Yeah, so Daniel's Fund covers all 4 years, anywhere in the country. But and I wouldn't say like I didn't expect to get it, but I didn't think that I could,
Right.
And then when I was told I was a finalist and that I had to go do an interview, I'm just really good at talking to people. So I was like, I just need to ace this when we're good. And then walking out of the room, I knew it was like, boom,
Damn,
done,
dude.
So yeah, but that was pretty crazy. And then I was like, shoot, I got to apply to colleges, like anywhere in the country, but you had to be able to get into it. You can't just say I want to go to Harvard and then have like a 3.0, like they're not going to let you in. So I actually didn't meet the requirements to get into Boulder. I actually applied to CSU, and then I was enrolled in CSU for 2 days. But I wasn't in classes or anything, but I had like put down the $300 deposit, and then 2 days later I got a call from CU saying, hey, we'd want you to come to our university because you are a Daniel Scholar finalist. I hadn't even been awarded it yet. They just said, because you're a finalist, like that's the reputation it has, they were like, we want you. And I was like, that is insane.
you, dude.
Yeah. So then I was like, oh, hands down. So I chose CU over CSU, especially because I was like, if it's covered, I'm gonna go, So then when I found out I got it, I unenrolled from CSU, lost that $300. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
But then ended up going to CU Boulder and then kind of working it out that way. But living on campus, I have like a view of the Flatirons right out my window. It's priceless. It's like $1 million view. It's pretty nuts.
That's sweet, dude. I didn't even get a full ride. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's
That's
pretty
badass.
nuts. Thanks, man.
And
Yeah.
it's crazy that things lined up too, because I know Lafayette's like 10 minutes away from Boulder, probably like 15 away.
minutes. Yeah.
So imagine if you're living in Fort Collins, you know what I mean? At CSU, this
Totally.
whole thing might not have happened, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and so many doors are opening up with this company I work for right now because it's growing so fast.
For Ninja Nation.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
And is it like a recreational thing? Like, can we go in there on the weekends and just go do it? Or
Yeah, I mean, we're open. So what's cool about our gym rather than like any other ninja gym is that our gym, any hour that it's open, like all hours of operation, you guys can come in and just play. Other ninja gyms have like specific times, right? Like you can't go unless it's from like 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock on a Friday or something.
Oh, so if we want to just like come and try a course out,
yeah,
we could just come in and like pay a fee, obviously.
Totally, yeah. So it's like $17 for 1 hour. Or it's like 25 for 2, or you can pay 30 and do it all day. But if you come at like 10 o'clock, because we open on 10 o'clock on the weekends, and you like want to go get lunch and then you come back, right, you could stay as long as you want. But typically I'd recommend that if you're just starting, like start out with like, probably for all of like our age group that's watching, I would do 2 hours because like we don't get worn out as fast. But like if you're bringing like your little brother or something, start with like an hour because they're just on the moon the whole time, just going at it. So but I will definitely say it's a lot harder than people think it is. No doubt. Yeah, I got humbled real quick. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of it a long time ago though.
Yeah.
Like like on NBC, whatever.
Right.
And I'm like, some of the things I'm like, dude, really? Come on, like that's easy. Like I
Right.
could do that. But then a lot of the things I'm like, you have to have such a strong upper body.
Yeah.
So like I wanted to ask you, like how often do you train? Do you train every day? Like just Ninja Warrior stuff?
Yeah. So if we're talking just Ninja Warrior, I probably try and train about 3 or 4 times a week.
And then, are you doing any other like weight workouts, running, cardio? What else are you doing?
So I rock climb a lot too.
Okay.
I rock climb like 2 times, 3 times a week. But sometimes it's like I'll do ninja and like go wear myself out and then try and climb, or vice versa. I'll do like rock climbing and then I'll go and do a workout at the gym, because we have a workout area at our gym. It's very tiny, but CU has a workout, like a huge rec center that I get to use for free anyway. So I sometimes, if I don't have the time to go to the ninja gym and train, I'll just go there and I'll lift, and a lot of it is dead hanging. I don't know if you guys know what that is. Just hang from a bar. Right, and that's huge for endurance purposes. Like the longer you can hang, the better advantage you have, because of what we're seeing in a lot of Ninja Warriors, just hanging for long periods of time is doing explosive moves. So if you guys want to get better at like doing the sport, like I always recommend pull-ups. Like do tons of pull-ups, or like before bed, how I got really good at it was I had a pull-up bar in my house, and I would like hang from the bar every night before bed, and I went from like hanging from 42 seconds to about like 4 minutes in a time span of like three weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
And is this just like hanging with your arms straight?
Arms straight, yeah.
Is it like this, or out wide, like chin up, or how you?
You can do it however you want. I think it's good to change it up, but if you're looking, a dead hang, like by definition, is just straight up like totally,
like you're doing a chin up?
Totally just hang here and then just hold on. Okay. I wouldn't go like switch your hands, because switching your hands is like, it's kind of cheating in a way, like holding it like this. You're
gonna get equal amount.
Exactly. Yeah. When you do this, it's kind of like your biceps using it, but when you're here, your bicep can't really help that. It's like all forearm strength. So yeah, if you hang like that for a while, and then if you even want to change it up, you're gonna get a lot shorter time. But if you like even want to hang it like 90 degrees like this, yeah, that's actually really hard. But those are called lock-offs, and that's like a really good training mechanism too, because if you're like spent in a course and you need to go up and reach something and you don't have that pulling power, because you can hang here all day, right? But it's the pulling up to an obstacle that's super hard. So training those lock-offs are like really important too. So
are you doing a lot of like weight workout too, like with actual weights, or do you do a lot of just body weight?
I do a lot of body weight, but I also wear a weight vest when I run courses.
Okay.
Because I'm so light, so at some points it becomes like not beneficial. It's only like, oh, you can only be so strong if you keep lifting. Like same with like physical weight. Like if you just deadlift like 250 every time, like you're not gonna get any stronger.
No, exactly.
You just do more reps, right? So it's like if you put a weight vest on, then you're increasing that endurance. So what I tend to do is I'll run the course the first time with a weight vest on, and then I will take it off and I'll run it again. So not only am I spent, but I also feel ridiculously light the second time.
Right.
Which
and
is
faster, and
which is the way
time.
which is the way that I like to train too, because that feeling of like being pumped but being able to fly that much is just like really incredible. So
are you doing any do you do any lower body workouts, or is it just kind of like it's all upper body?
Yeah, I hate running, but like I'll do it. I really focus on cardio a lot, because if you don't have cardio and you're running courses, you're kind of screwed. It doesn't look like a high cardio sport, but then
no, I'm sure I can see how it is.
Yeah. It depends how fast you're going through the obstacles, but like if you guys see people doing the obstacles and they're taking like break after break, like it's not that gassing, but the way I've started performing is that I'm sprinting through every obstacle. So then by the time I get like to the 8th or 9th one, I'm gassed. Like I'm breathing really hard. And I mean, anyone would be. There's some very few people who can actually think about controlling their breathing as they're doing obstacles to keep that calm and then actually keep going, right? But usually cardio is straining your body, and that's like the blood flow, like scientifically of it, like it's going faster, your heart's beating faster, so then your muscles are also like tightening like a lot faster, and you're just getting spent. So
and do you feel like you have an advantage training at such a high altitude, like when you go in North Carolina?
Totally. Yeah, I was just in Florida, and I competed in 2 competitions, and each of the competitions I think they were like 10 obstacles each, and I wasn't gassed in either of them. One of them I I pooped out. I only had like a 30-second run because I failed on like the 5th obstacle. But then the other one, I made it to like the 8th obstacle or something like that, and I wasn't gassed at all. I was just easy. But then I came back to elevation. I was gone for like 4 days, and I came back to elevation. I just got my shit wrecked.
Gone. Yeah.
Totally different.
So
yeah.
Yeah. Are you doing any other, like, because that's a really hard, it's really hard on your forearms,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Forearm and, like, on your hands. Like, are you doing any other, like, workouts for your grip and your forearms and stuff like that?
Yeah, so usually I'll just take plates and I'll just pinch them. Like I'll just
Ah.
pinch a plate and just that's really hard. I don't know if you guys have ever tried it, but if you grab like literally a 45-pound plate and just try and pinch it with one hand and hold it for as long as you can.
Like, hold it up, like, by your hip and just...
Yeah, straight armed. If
Oh,
it hits
yeah.
the ground, then you can even try and lift it a little bit, or just with your shoulders engage those. But that's like pretty difficult. But then the other thing is, like I said, just dead hanging. So usually I'll do like intervals of like holding a plate and then dead hanging for like a minute, and then usually I'll do like push-ups or something so that my biceps get a little bit of something. But you never want to focus on like just one muscle group. You want to kind of focus on all of them and make sure that I kind of do it as like I'll have an arm day and then I'll have a core day,
Right,
and then I'll have a
right.
cardio
Yeah,
day.
even it out.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
even
makes
it out.
sense.
But like on course runs, obviously you're using everything. You're using your core, you're using your arms, you're using like literally everything. So yeah.
Have you ever, when you're dead hanging, have you ever wrapped towels? Like a towel around the bar and then hold from the towels?
Yeah, so that's actually like an obstacle my buddy Jonah created one time. They were like on monkey bars, and you had to like take it and you had to whip it over the monkey bar and then grab it. And then with hanging from one hand, you had to take the other one and whip it over and then go like
Dude,
that.
that seems
yeah.
like just a serious pump in your
Yeah, it was
forearms.
terrible. It was terrible, yeah.
What
It
we
don't-
do probably does nothing to what he does.
yeah, it's really hard. So, but it's crazy because like you can create whatever you want, like with the obstacles, especially in our gym. Like there's no limits. I'm always creating funky new stuff. We have so much, and the trust bays, like I was saying, you can make anything, which is why like world championships next week, no one knows what to expect. It's super weird.
And
That's-
is the process for you like making these events, like is it hard, or like do you guys have certain people that make the obstacles, or like a engineer or something that does them, or
Yeah, so
is it pretty like DIY? You guys could throw it up and
it depends.
click something on there.
Yeah, so like we have clamps and we have bars. So if we want to set up just like laches, a lache is like when you're flying from one object to another.
Mhm.
So if you're flying from a bar to a bar and they're 6 feet apart, that's a 6-foot lache is what we'd call that. So like right now in our gym we have like 4 bars and they're all different lache lengths. And that's like what I kind of posted on Instagram yesterday, was like a whole lache lane and that kind of thing. But then we can take those bars and we can make them spin, and we can make them tilt, and we can make them do whatever. Like,
I want to try it, dude. Sounds fun.
yeah, it's super fun. It's like it literally takes the workout aspect into a whole nother dimension. It makes working out fun. Like
Yeah.
like sometimes when you go to the gym, at least in my opinion, if I'm going to lift weights, I kind of hate it. I'm like, damn, I have to go lift right now. Some people get really hyped about it. They're like, yeah, I get to go lift. But I really don't think like lifting weights is like that fun if you're gonna do it all the time. What's cool about like Ninja is that you can create like so many different obstacles and do them however you want to. There's not just one way to do them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's kind of answers that question. There's like a whole range of obstacles, and they're changing all the time. So different engineers who have different ideas. But yeah.
Sweet, man. So for our viewers that are listening right now, we posted on our social media. Nathan is doing a free giveaway for everyone, for anyone who's listening right now. So if you're listening, go ahead and comment in the comment section. You can ask a question. It could be just a comment on whatever. It doesn't matter.
So Zach, yeah, that's how you enter. Zach commented, but is this how I enter for the
Oh
giveaway?
my god.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
then,
So
and then also, once we're done with the podcast, either tonight or tomorrow, tag us in a social media post we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or maybe even on Snapchat.
Yeah.
Tag, one of us 3, and Nathan is going to be giving away, if you want, you can just show off these
Yeah,
sick
totally,
ass
man.
shirts that,
this merch just dropped like literally this week.
good shit.
So here's the front of it, and then here's the back of it. Can you see that?
Yeah, and then the 12. So
yeah,
what's the 12?
Yeah. So I'll talk about like the shirt a little bit. So, the whole name behind like Gnarly Ninja Nate, like not only does it ring, but like gnarly means challenging, difficult, or dangerous, and so that like name just kind of fit me because I've been through so many things that were like dangerous or challenging or really difficult in my life, so that was kind of like, not only is it a dope name, right, but like it fit my story, and then the 12, so I'll give a little bit of like because A&W loves stories, right? American Ninja Warrior loves stories. And so here's kind of like my background a little bit. So growing up, you guys know like how short I was throughout high school. You guys went to high school with me. But like even in elementary school and like middle school, I was bullied a ton. And so it people don't know why I'm so short, but I actually have a growth deficiency. So it's like the growth hormone deficiency. So my pituitary gland in my brain like physically didn't send signals to produce hormone, which is why I had to actually take hormone for like 4 years. And then I growed very slowly throughout high school. Like I had to take all this through high school. And then I grew very slowly. But it wasn't enough. So I just kind of like gave up like junior, senior year. And I was like, it doesn't matter. Like I'll just be short as whatever, you know. But now I see the benefits of that. And I was diagnosed with that when I was 12 years old. So 12's always been my lucky number. But then 12 years old is when I was diagnosed with the growth hormone deficiency. Which is kind of like why it links to my story and the whole gnarly thing. And the 12 also stands for season 12. I will also be on season 12 this year. Yeah, so in a month, March 13th and 14th, I fly out to Universal Studios, and I'll be on American Ninja Warrior. That's when they'll film it. My episode will air in like late April or late May. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So,
that's badass.
Dude, that's sick.
So,
that's sweet, dude. Good for you. That's awesome.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's literally, I have watched this show since I was like 7 years old. And I remember doing like pull-ups in my living room and like doing push-ups with my dad, like watching it during commercial breaks and all this. And then even watching Brian, like we knew Brian, who Brian was before we even moved here, you know? And so then when we actually found out we lived in the same neighborhood as him, it was like, holy crap. And then I didn't realize how actually good I could be at this sport. And then as I started training, I just started passing people. And now I'm competing with literally the greatest ninja warriors on the planet. So
that's insane.
Yeah, and all of them will be there next week. So yeah,
that's badass.
That's like the stars aligning. You know what I mean? Like,
it's
you
insane,
watch this and then your
and
condition
and student, which is top
it's
it
so
off,
hard. It's
yeah.
so hard because priorities. You know,
right.
It's like,
so how many days? Just like a side question, how many days do you go to school a week? Do you go every day?
Yeah, every day. But usually I like worked out my schedule this year, so it's like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I only have 2 classes, and it's like I have one at 9 and one at 10. So then after 11, like I'm free all day. And so like I can go study, or I can go train, or I can go climb, whatever it may be. Usually that's my study time. And then Thursdays are like my harder classes, and those are like 9, 10, and then 2. So I don't work on Tuesdays or Thursdays because those are kind of my study days too. I've tried to kind of study more on Tuesday and Thursday so I can relax Monday, Wednesday, Friday, especially on Friday because it's like kind of a weekend, you know. But I typically work at the gym on Wednesdays, so I kind of utilize Mondays and Fridays to train a lot, and then the weekends too, depending on how much homework I have, or like I have an exam tomorrow, so I had to study a lot before this, you know. So it's just a ton of stuff. Yeah, a lot of organization. There's a lot of things coming up, and I'm gonna be missing a lot of school too because I leave on Wednesday for North Carolina World Finals, and I literally have a red eye from like 12 to 5 a.m. Land in North Carolina at 5 a.m. and then I'm gonna just kind of do some homework or sleep until my buddies get there, and then we're gonna drive an hour to Greensboro where the finals will be, and then we're gonna go and we're gonna sleep because the next day World Finals start. And then if I make it through the first stage, then the second stage is the next day, and then the next day is third, the next day is fourth. So I'm missing like 3 days of school for that, and then 2 weeks after that is the show that we have to go film. And so, yeah, so I'm missing 3 more days of school for that. And so being a student is like super hard because although attendance isn't mandatory in all my classes, it is for others. And so I see that affect my grades sometimes. So you have to make those connections and like really one-on-one with your professors about like, how can I make that up? Or studying is really hard too because you always want to be training to be the best, right? But you also have to, it's only 4 years of your life for school, and you can't mess it up. Like a degree is a degree, and once you get it, like you're good to go, right? But this 4 years is going to be pretty hard. So yeah.
And are most of your professors pretty lenient with everything? Like, are they understanding about you missing school for stuff like that?
Yeah. So once my professors find out what I do, they're actually
Like, oh,
very
shit.
lenient, you know.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my god, you know. So they're usually like, yeah, that's okay. Like, just make sure you're turning in everything on time, or send it to me by email, or turn it into Canvas. I don't know if you guys use Canvas or whatever for school, but it's basically like D2L, something like
Yeah.
that. Or
Do you use D2L? No.
yeah, it's basically like submitting your
Like
assignments
yeah.
online. Yeah. So as long as that's all uploaded on time and I'm doing the readings and all that, then like my grade stays steady. But as soon as
Right.
I stop reading or I stop focusing, it just goes down the drain, just gone. Which I have too many opportunities at hand to not focus on school right now. So
Right.
yeah.
So you're your second year.
Yeah, second
college.
year. Yeah.
Once you graduate from CU Boulder, do you think you're going to graduate in time, or do you think you want to graduate even earlier, or what are you looking at right
So with the Daniels Fund, they only pay for 4 years of school. So
now? Okay,
yeah,
so you have to finish in 4 years.
Yeah, well, you don't have to, but if you don't,
Right.
then you're paying for an extra semester, and going from debt free to 16 grand in debt for a semester is like, boom, like just hits you like a freight train. So the goal, yes, is to finish in the 4 years, and I'll make it happen regardless. But the biggest thing is like school's a priority for the next few years. So if I have to drop Ninja for a few months, or a semester, then I'm gonna do it. Like if I have to take 18 to 19 credits in one semester, I need to stop working.
Is that how many you're taking right now?
No, right now I'm taking 15, but I have taken 21 before.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
Dude, that's insane.
21?
So, yeah, I took 21 second semester. Or what was it? It was last semester.
How many classes was that?
That was 6.
6.
Yeah, I took
Jesus,
6 classes.
dude.
Yeah, one of them was online though at Front Range. So
nice.
because of freshman year, I was in bad study habits from high school and stuff like that, and so I just blew off statistics. I was like, it's so easy, and I was like, oh, I don't have to do that homework, I guess. Oh, it's not that bad. But then it started adding up, and I needed, for business school, at least Leeds for CU, you have to have a B- or higher in your statistics class. That's one of the prerequisites to getting in, and I got a 78. So yeah, which is a C plus. So basically I didn't get in because of that, so I had to retake it the next semester, and so that's why I was all behind. But then I got that taken care of, and so yeah, now we're good to go.
So you have to take your prerequisites, and then to qualify, you have to have a certain grade to qualify for your business school?
Yeah, so some people, out of high school, if they already have a 3.0 and they've already taken micro, macro, and statistics, then they can just get it right in. They can just get into Leeds. But in my case, I'm sure you guys can relate a little bit. You just blew off high school, especially Brighton.
Brighton's a joke.
Yeah, Brighton is a joke. You didn't have to try very hard. You just had to. You didn't even have to do your homework really. You just do it right in class before
you cheat.
Yeah, exactly. No one's paying attention. It's Brighton, So, but yeah, it got the diploma, and so then going from that to a prestige CU Boulder Leeds Business School was boom, huge realization, and really hit me. And so I had to turn the table real quick and just go into overdrive and make sure that my study habits and my schedule was planned, and my just all that, man. It's crazy.
So I can imagine the American Ninja Warrior stuff will be kind of a constant for while you could do it, which I'm sure will be a long time. But what are you looking to do after college? What are you looking to do with the degree?
Yeah, so I'm studying business marketing and management, and I've always been really good at sales, and I've always been very business driven. I was in DECA and stuff like that. That was super fun for me. I've always loved business and the whole idea behind it. I'd love to start my own company, entrepreneur wise, but I've also had opportunities come out through Ninja Nation, an offer on the table that if I graduate with a certain GPA and graduate from business school, then there's a position for me sitting there right at the top. And so yeah, it's pretty insane because this company's so huge right now. So that's kind of what I look at when I'm exhausted, if I don't feel like doing a homework, or if I feel I'll just study in the morning. I think about that because that's sitting on the table. At the end of the 4 years, I just get to take that because it's been handed to me already, but I have to earn it. Obviously, it's not just going to be oh, well, you didn't really graduate, so you don't get that. That's not how it works in the business field. So I don't know though, because there's a lot of networking that goes on. There's so many different doors that could open. So I'm not limiting it to that. I would love to start my own company, from some of the ideas that I have, but we'll see where it goes. See where it goes. So
Well, you're definitely in a good spot to be
Yeah.
doing everything too, especially like you said, opening doors with networking, and you're traveling across the country doing something great like this, and of course you'll be on the show, and that'll open so many doors for you. So
That's- yeah,
it'll be good to
yeah.
see. I'm excited for you, man.
Thanks, man.
You got a good head on your shoulders for sure too.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So I'm pretty stoked because I don't know what the next year will look like. If you think like about what you looked like a year ago, it's probably not the same as all that. So now it's kind of hard to think about a year from now where I'll be.
Right.
So
Do you think, like, do you picture yourself after graduating from CU Boulder, like, maybe even going full-time ninja?
yeah, I think it'll be a hobby for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know where the sport will be at that time. No one knows, so it could just poop itself, like people just become less interested. But as I see it, I think it'll grow tremendously. So it really depends on how good I do on the show and those opportunities opening. Like if I happen to win this year, that will open a ton of doors, right? But who knows if that's going to happen, right? So it's kind of hard to think about because it hasn't happened yet. So you gotta kind of live in the moment, just kind of go with the flow, but you can't let the future get in the way of like what you're thinking about now. Because I do that a lot. I'm very futuristic based, so it's like thinking about the future and like what I want to do sometimes takes me back from like what I'm living in now. So it's like really important to not do that because I have to live in the moment sometimes. So
Just kind of finding a balance between ambition and current states. And,
totally, yeah. Because if I'm too focused on like my future, right, and trying to be the best for like 3 months from now, then I'm not worried about how I'm training now, right? I think it's really important to take it day by day and train as hard as I can today so that I'm better tomorrow, and then train even harder tomorrow so that I can be even better the next day. But you can't overwork yourself. That's like one of the key things that people are doing is just because other people can train really hard, they're training even harder, and then that's where injury comes from. So I'm really trying to prevent that because I haven't been injured yet. Well, that's not true. We'll talk about that in a second. So yeah, I haven't been injured yet with like tendons and muscles because I'm really good about recovery. Recovery is like super important for me. Drinking lots of water. I'm on a really good plant-based diet, so like I don't eat meats. Like it's all very good. It's changed the way my endurance is. Everything, just everything. My body feels cleaner, and I know there's like mixed opinions about it, but like scientifically, I've seen differences, like for sure. But yeah, going back to like the injury thing I was just talking about, like I've hit my head open like 3 or 4 times already in like the year and a half I've been training. Gone to the ER a couple times. So I don't know if you guys can see the scar right here.
Oh, yep, I can.
Yeah.
Jesus, yeah.
Yeah. So and then there's one disgusting one that's like up here on my forehead, and that one I threw my I was literally doing a lâché that it was just pretty. It was pretty dumb. It was pretty big too, but I took a bolt to the head. Yeah.
Jesus.
And so
Christ.
yeah, and I was working too, but it was like pretty dead, so I was just playing around and took a bolt to the head, and then next thing I knew I was like bleeding out of my head like extremely fast, and because I was a lifeguard for 3 years, I just knew I had to stay calm and put pressure on it, and then I literally ran to the front desk at work and I was like, call 911. Like, oh, I'm gonna have to go to the hospital. Yeah. And so luckily it's right next to the Good Samaritan Hospital. So like the firefighters came in, and by that time it had stopped bleeding, but it was a gnarly gash. It was like 3 or 4 inches. Yeah. And so they had to take me in the ambulance, and then I got 4 or 5 staples in my head. Oh. Yeah. So they had to seal it up, and then a week later I got them out. But I've done that 3 other times, but they didn't require staples. I just kind of, after that one, I knew how bad it was, so one of them, this one I definitely should have got staples in, but I just kind of slept with the beanie on so it would stop.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want it all over my pillow, so I literally was like, oh, it's like pussing a little bit, like whatever, so I just threw a beanie on, went to sleep, woke up in the morning, it was fine, but now I have a huge scar right here, so it's kind of stupid, but yeah, I even called my mom that night and was like, should I go to the ER or the urgent care? But then they told me it was going to be a long wait, and it was like midnight, and I was like, screw that, dude, I'm not going to do that. So then I just sucked it up, so
Jenna had just commented that too. She just said, have you ever hurt yourself training?
Oh, really?
So yeah, there's the answer for that.
Yeah, I've definitely hurt myself quite a bit. I actually, not all of it's ninja training. I've hurt myself at trampoline parks too, just doing stupid stuff, So yeah, just trying to do dumb stuff, so.
Have you ever had a serious injury, Kevin?
I broke my toes when I was 5 years old.
I've
that
broken
about
one
it?
toe. It's the only bone I've broken is a toe.
What, Tucker?
Is that why they're webbed together?
No, it was the web ones that I broke. No, yeah, I have 2 toes stuck together
Oh,
on each
really?
feet. Yeah.
Dang, I didn't know that.
I
That's
was
awesome.
with Daniel and Tomas one time at a trampoline park,
He's a great swimmer.
and I
You know
tried to
that.
do
really?
I tried to do a backflip and landed on my head, and it hurt so
Oh, my
bad.
God. It's terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been blessed to never have a.
You never broken a bone?
Oh, I broke my nose. Does
Oh,
that
okay.
count?
Yeah.
I don't.
Knock
believe in
on
that.
wood.
I've never had a serious injury, and I do jiu-jitsu.
Eric broke your nose, huh?
No, I broke my
Oh,
nose
really?
in like 4th grade.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Jay
really?
Cortez's house. Yep.
Oh, dang.
Boom. Yeah. I was diving for a ball. It's actually really funny.
Ugh.
We were like playing catch, whatever, in his room. I dove for a ball, and the outside, the exterior of his bed, was surrounded by wood, and I dove for the ball.
Oh,
and I
no.
realized how close I was, and just went and snapped my nose. Yeah, that's the only bone I've broken though. I don't knock on wood.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
better
believe in
not.
it. I don't.
Find some
I don't
wood.
believe in it.
Yeah, me either. I don't know. I mean,
If I break something,
what's crazy,
it's long
actually,
overdue,
that's not,
baby.
I wouldn't say that's completely true, because actually when I broke, or I didn't break it, I mean, I could have broke my skull. I broke the skin of my skull, but when I got this huge cut here, literally the second before I did it, I saw the bolts that were up there, and I literally said, I don't know how I haven't hit my head on that yet. Like I'm so unaware of how this is happening, and then I threw it one more time and it happened. Like it's crazy. I don't know how that worked, but I literally was like, I don't know, I haven't hit my head yet. And I knew as soon
then
as
you
I
do
let
it.
go of the 2, I wish I could like put it on the video, but it was like 2 rings to like this weird shaped mustache hold or something. So I just was like flying through the air, and as soon as I let go, I was like, that's too much, and tried to tuck my head, but it just didn't work. It just, boom, just gone, and no concussion either. That was awesome.
I was just thinking, like, if you
Yeah.
hit your head multiple times, have you had any concussions or?
Yeah, I mean,
Anything
I
in that
played
arena?
football in middle school, and
Did you go to VCon?
no, I went
Oh.
to Fruita Middle School, like
Okay.
all the way in Grand Junction.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
what?
I literally moved to Brighton like a week before Brighton High School started school. Yeah, it's like I moved in, and then literally a week later I just started school.
Oh,
Knew
dang.
no one, knew nothing.
I didn't know
yeah.
that.
Yeah, so no, not many people know. They're just like, you should go to Overland. No,
Oh, that's why I asked if you went to
Yeah.
VCon.
Yeah.
Like,
And
that's
I'm
where I
like,
went.
No, Yeah, no, I'm all the way from Fruita, like where.
That's
Country
crazy.
Can, yeah, so, yeah,
I just had a question and it just slipped my mind and I can't remember.
yeah.
It's gonna
So
bug me.
where'd you guys go?
Overland.
Overland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to VCon.
Oh, okay, cool.
And Daniel went to both. He spent half and
Yeah.
half.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, he's a hoe, dude. He hopped from 2 different schools.
Yeah. I
Well-
mean, neither of them were awesome. So.
Oh god.
No.
Really? What school in Brighton is awesome?
Yeah, it's true. Even Prairie View just sucks ass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Did you go to? You went to VCon 6th grade year, right? And then Overland 7th and 8th.
He went 6th grade.
Like split down the middle, like
like
6th, half of 7th.
Yeah.
Really? Shit.
Dang, that's crazy.
What elementary school did you go to?
Southeast.
Okay.
Right up the road from Brighton.
Oh yeah.
Brighton High School.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's on the hill.
Where
You go to?
I went to Pennock,
Pennock,
yeah. Pennock was nice. But so
Pennock.
Wait, what's nice?
Pennock's
dude?
nice.
What's the definition
The
of
playground's
nice?
just so much better.
Wait, where is Pennock's
recess.
right by Eagle Ridge, right? Is that Pennock?
yeah,
Okay.
I just feel like that's one of the nicer elementary schools.
Southeast
Or it's
wasn't
just
bad.
newer.
Southeast wasn't bad. I really liked my teachers.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really close with almost every teacher I had.
My
in
siblings.
elementary.
My
school.
siblings went to Pennock, and they didn't have any complaints.
Yeah.
They just kind of did their thing though.
Are they? So how many other siblings you have?
I have 4.
Oh damn.
4.
Yeah, I have 4 siblings. People don't know that. Yeah.
Oh.
So I have 4 siblings, and they are all boys, and they're all younger than me. So.
Oh shit, you're oldest, huh?
Yeah, I'm the oldest in the family. Yeah, so all of them are super stoked because they live in Santa Barbara now. It was crazy. Right after I graduated, my whole family moved to Santa Barbara, California, and yeah, literally they moved out a week. They moved out of the house a week before I did. So I stayed in an empty house with like all my stuff for like a week, and then I moved into CU Boulder. Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah,
dude.
it was pretty crazy. Yeah, so they moved and they're there now, and so they're pretty stoked because there's 3 different regions I could have been chosen for the show, and they were L.A., and then there was D.C., and then there was St. Louis. And so I thought usually Colorado is the last to get called, and St. Louis is the last region this year. So I was like, oh, I'm going to St. Louis. But then all of a sudden I get a call like 2 weeks ago that they want me to be in L.A., and I was like, That's awesome. So they must have read like in my application that my family lives in LA, or not in LA, but like in Santa Barbara, a couple hours away. But no one outside of myself lives outside of California in my family.
That's so weird.
Why did they move out there?
So I grew up like my first 6 years there, like I went until I was 6, and then my dad got a huge job opportunity, so he came out here, and then to Grand Junction, and then we stayed there for a little bit, and then after that he got another big job opportunity for the oil field out here. So then he came out to Brighton, and then did a whole bunch of oil field work, and so he still travels back and forth. He does a couple weeks here, works on the oil field, and goes back, but he hates doing that. So right now he's like trying to get a sheriff's job in Santa Barbara, because he's in the military too, so like he wants to be a sheriff and stuff like that, which is super dope. But then we moved to Brighton, like literally, like I said, a week before
Before your freshman year?
Before my freshman year, yeah. And then right as I graduated, literally a week after I graduated, they were like, out! Yeah, so, and then I moved into CU Boulder, and then started school there. So it's a lot of differences. I don't think I've ever started a school without it being like moving there right before.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like
that sounds so stressful,
That's
too.
a pretty big change, dude.
Yeah.
You know, like, because, leaving home and going to college,
Yeah.
regardless is hard.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. I mean, I don't know, but
Right.
and then they're moving to California, and you're in Colorado. Like shit.
Yeah, right.
And you're a freshman, and it's like, whoa, damn, I'm like on my own, and they're in a different state.
And it's not as hard as you would think it is, because like the dining halls of CU's cook for you, so it's not that bad. Because I don't have to cook my own food, so I just go to the dining hall whenever I'm hungry. It's kind of like my mom cooking. It's just like whenever dinner's ready, you just go eat,
They have good vegan options there, too?
They do, yeah.
Nice.
CU's dining hall, if you guys ever get the chance to go, is like stupid fancy. It's like super really good. They have like a dessert section, Asian section, like burritos, Italian, like you just name it all, sushi. You got everything in there, dude. It's insane. But yeah, kind of making that transition. The only thing that was different was kind of like the environment, I guess, because going from a place like Brighton to a place like Boulder is like, it's a pretty big upgrade, and then living with a roommate my first year was different, because I always had my own room in my house, so then having to share like a room that was smaller than mine with another person was like that I didn't even know, and he happened to be from Vail, and so that was kind of hard, because I mean, he's a Vail kid, so obviously spoiled, and didn't pay for anything, and then I had to like support myself, luckily I had a full ride, but like there's still like other responsibilities I had to cover,
right?
So obviously my parents have my back too, 100%, but it was just like you could tell like the ego behind it all,
right?
So,
kind of stuck up.
Exactly, yeah, and I made sure it was clear that wasn't going to be that way, but yeah.
So how long have you been on the diet where you cut out meat?
So about like 3 or 4 months now.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have all seen the Game Changers documentary on Netflix, but if you have,
I think
That's why Santana went vegan.
Really?
really.
Yeah, I'm not on a vegan diet. I'm on a vegetarian diet.
Yeah, vegetarian. So you're still eating like.
I still
still eating eggs, milk.
Yeah, so I try not to do eggs, because eggs are really high cholesterol. But like, if I don't know what else you would eat for breakfast, you know what I mean? That's like also high in protein. So like, with eggs, yeah, right. It's hard to think.
I mean, like you could just have. I mean, you could make a protein,
steak.
a pretty high protein shake.
Right, yeah, or shakes, but
Right,
like that's not
actual
at the
shakes.
dining
Yeah.
halls, so
Exactly.
it's like something different. So like, yeah, I'll eat omelets and stuff.
Okay.
I started to stay away from dairy, because dairy like really messes with my stomach. It's just just don't do that.
Just doesn't agree with you.
Yeah, but like pizza, it has tons of dairy because it's cheese, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, if I eat pizza, it's not a big deal. I had pizza like 4 times this week, and it's vegetarian. It's cheese pizza. Like, what are you gonna do about it? But I'm not like super strict about it. Like, I like to reward myself like by eating meat and stuff. I do it for performance, because I don't know if you guys know the science behind it, but like with vegetarian, or especially vegan, it's like the cholesterol actually builds plaque in your arteries, and so it limits blood flow to like throughout your cardiovascular system. So the more you eat meat, the more plaque that builds up, and then it limits blood flow, which is where heart disease comes from. Like, you see a lot of people who eat like lots of meats and lots of greasy foods, they actually tend to have a higher risk of heart disease rather than people who are plant-based, where plant-based like actually opens up your arteries because there's no plaque, and it opens it up so more blood's actually able to flow through, which is why when you eat plant-based, your endurance goes up, because there's more blood flow able to go through true, and there's not as much plaque and toxicity. The
Damn.
antioxidant levels are just crazy. So yeah, like I
You
don't have enough.
major?
This is all like explained in like the whole Game Changers documentary. I just gave like a speech on it too in one of my public speaking classes about like it was a teach speech, so I got to teach people all about it, and people don't know, but like it's kind of hard because, and they'll talk about it if you guys watch the documentary, but like we've been taught to eat meat like for so long that it's become normal. Like if you ask a kid. Like if you tell a kid like I'm vegetarian, they'll be like, what are you doing to yourself, you know? But like our bodies aren't totally meant to eat meat. Like we can, right? But if you eat like a lot of it, it actually ends up being really bad for you in the long run. And I'm not here to persuade or like troll anyone. I hate people who are like, oh, you eat meat, you're stupid, you know? Like I do it for myself. I don't care what you do, you know? Like good for you. Like I'll enjoy a steak too, you know? But I have to win something, right?
Right.
Like I won a competition in Texas last week. And so I went to Raising Cane's for sure. Cane's is my favorite, or like Chick-fil-A, great stuff, you know. So like, but there has to be a reward with it, you know. But definitely, I try to keep as consistent as possible because I know that my body is like so much better. Also, it keeps me really lean too. So,
I know you said you were a big Joe Rogan guy.
About his diet you just did?
Yeah, did you hear about that? For the past month, he's ate nothing. I think he started at the New Year, and I think he's still doing it.
Yeah, he said he would. Yeah, dude,
he ate nothing but meat, like just
Seriously.
straight up carnivore.
vertical limit diet. I think
it was.
He called it the carnivore
diet, dude.
The
He
carnivore
seriously
diet.
ate nothing but meat.
That
No
is
veggies.
insane.
No.
Said he lost like 15 pounds and never felt better.
Dude, there's actually a video I'll show you.
Yeah.
After we're done here, of him like explaining, going through the motions
Totally.
after he was done, and how much he looked good, dude.
And
He's
that's
what,
what's
like
really
50
hard.
something, and he looked really good. He looked really lean,
Yeah.
and he was talking about like how much his skin has been hydrated and how much more energy he has, and
It's crazy.
But he said on his like more recent podcast, he said that it made him more aggressive. Like
Totally.
more like at a shorter attention
So
span and
it's
stuff
kind of
like that.
crazy, and it's really hard in the world today because, like, I know a guy. If you guys look him up on Instagram, he's one of the biggest characters on American Ninja Warrior. His name's Chad Flexington, and he's hilarious. Such a character.
What a
he's
sick last name.
Yeah,
Flexington.
no, it's his alter ego. His name's Ben
okay.
Ben Udy. His
Oh.
stage name is Chad Flexington.
Ben Udy.
And so, but he's on a diet called the vertical limit diet, and he eats like beef liver, but he's eating like grass fed, like everything.
Highest
That's hard for
quality,
me
yeah.
to do at CU if I
Yeah.
were to eat meat, because everything at CU there's so much of it that it would cost them so much money.
Yeah.
So it's like 60-40 probably of what people are eating at CU, but like a 98-2, meaning
Yeah.
98% lean and 2%
2%
fat.
fat.
That's so good. Like if you're gonna eat meat, then that's the way to do it. And so he's on a vertical limit diet where he eats a ton of that, and he is absolutely ripped. So it's kind of hard because like I tried to do that too, right? But it's hard for me because it's expensive. I would have to
Yep.
buy my own stuff, and I'd have to cook it, so it's just not the option for me right now. Based on a plant diet, and like the science behind it, I think the health benefits, like it's hard to say, because people who eat plants and like veganism, I guess, is like they'll find data that supports theirs.
Yep.
But the meat lovers will find data that supports theirs. So you don't know who to trust, because people are just going to pay researchers to say what they need them to say, which is hard,
I
right?
like both.
And I think at the end of the day,
totally.
it just comes down to whose body it is too, and what circumstances there are around. You thought I was going to say it's just going to come down to
Is
who
this
wins.
gonna win, man?
No, but
Yeah.
It's once he's done telling it,
but
I'll tell you something.
there was
funny.
it just comes down to people's bodies and what the better fit for them is, you know what I mean? But and of course it fits your situation better because it's cheaper. And I'm sure Joe Rogan had access to a lot of
Yeah, I don't
like,
think
he's
he's
talking
struggling.
about
it,
I
yeah,
don't think he's
exactly.
struggling either.
No, right.
Yeah.
There's there's this little side note. Every time, like
We're
with
watching
Kevin and we're
sports
watching
or something.
anything like
Just come down
any-
to who wins.
That's all he says. But he's like, I was like, so who you got tonight in tonight's game, bro? Like for the Super Bowl, he's like, dude. He sits there and he's
It's
like,
gonna come down to
"Ah,
me."
man, I just think it's gonna come down to whoever scores more points.
Oh,
Like,
really?
dude, we're
Damn.
sitting here watching like UFC, and he's like, who do you got, bro? He's like, I just think it's gonna come down to whoever wins. And it's so every time it's like, what'd you just say? But it's so funny every time.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you guys watch that Conor McGregor and Cowboy fight?
oh my
Hell,
god,
did we ever?
Fook,
Yeah, right.
Fook, yes we
He
did
fucked
there.
him up, man.
Oh my God.
It really came down to who won.
Yeah, dude, it just really
But,
came down to who landed more. It just really came down to landed who
Full
more.
of
landed
40
more
seconds.
strikes.
That's all it took.
Yeah, dude, it was
Savage.
impressive. Yeah.
What an animal.
Well,
What
not a lot
animal?
of people know. Was when Kevin and I first started our podcast. You can tell by our logo, it's an octagon, right?
Right.
we actually wanted when we first started to be a completely MMA UFC based podcast.
Totally.
And
it's
then,
so weird because
and
it was
then
like
we
we're like we'll do
eh.
MMA, and then like we'll just do all sports. And we're like we'll do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah,
like
Joe Rogan
for a long,
influence, you know.
oh,
whatever.
of course,
Yeah.
dude. I love like you and I talked before. You know, we started this Joe Rogan. We listen to him all the time.
All the time.
Yeah,
All
it's
the time.
funny. Like we honestly, like the first episode was strictly UFC, and then you know like within like 10 episodes it was just sports,
Right.
and then we had guests on, and then we're like, dude, fuck it,
Do whatever.
let's
Yeah,
talk about
let's do
whatever.
Yeah.
So now we cover everything.
Yeah.
Or we try.
The world's
we
too
tried it.
broad to limit it.
Exactly,
to that.
dude.
Yeah, last week we talked to Phoenix, who's a fucking wild man car salesman.
Yeah.
Today
yeah.
we got
I was
gnarly
listening
Nick
to that
and
on the way here, dude. Phoenix is awesome.
Dude, yeah, we talked
Last
about.
week we had the secrets to Tinder. This weekend we got the fucking in and outs of veganism dying in American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah,
Exactly, dude.
yeah.
Like it's we're hitting everything here,
And
bro.
strippers. I remember strippers from last
Yeah.
week.
Yes, that's right. And then we talked about you know like sales
Inventions.
tactics and
Inventions,
inventions.
yeah. Your
My
sunflower
sunflower
seed
seed
evaporator.
tact. Yeah, my sunflower seed.
That's a great idea. I don't know
Oh,
why you.
That's dumb, dude.
I don't think so.
I think just kind
I
of
think
physics
it's a
kind of
good
holding
idea.
them back.
I just
Yeah.
think it comes down
I don't
to
think
who's gonna make the
sunflower seeds
invention.
evaporate.
If it's just okay, here's the
It's
thing.
not
Here's the
evaporate,
thing
bro.
about an
It's like-
invention. I learned this in a guest speaker. He was telling me if something's gonna be successful, it either has to be the first of its kind, has to be better than others in itself, right? If there's something just like it, has to be better than everything else, has to be cheaper than its alternatives, and has to be better quality, right? So if you're gonna like invent something like that, no one else has created that, so it's the first of its kind.
It's
You
so
can
dumb.
say it's the best.
That's why.
Yeah.
No one's ever thought about it. Such a dumb thought.
But dude, think of the things that are sold on Shark Tank, though. Like you can think
I
about
know.
those things, and you're like, "That's stupid. Why are they investing
Well,
in
did you
that?"
like on the podcast we were talking about that white
The
powder?
sponge?
Yes, and you
Oh.
snort it.
I'm like, that's cocaine.
That's cocaine,
It's
yeah.
got to be
It's-
cocaine.
yeah.
Dude. There has to be something of
But
something of cocaine.
they're
to
just
put
like,
inside
screw
there.
it. What? Take a chance. You know?
Yeah, dude.
So, yeah, there's a lot.
My
out there.
my thought process, after I listened to the podcast, when it was snowing really bad on like Wednesday or something,
Mm-hmm.
I was in my truck. So I listen to our podcast, and I usually don't. I
Yeah,
ever
I
listen to
can't.
our podcast. I don't like to hear myself talk,
Oh, okay.
and I
Okay.
just don't. But I listen, whatever.
Yeah.
And I didn't explain it very good. This idea of this invention, not like necessarily evaporating.
It's not evaporating.
No,
for
no,
sure.
no. More of like a. Well, I guess maybe
Decomposing.
exactly, but
Yeah.
like there's something inside of this, like I don't want to say bottle, but sure, we'll say bottle for this.
Yeah,
tense.
right.
And like there's like something inside of it that's
Just
just
grinds
that's
it up.
just spinning, right? And then as soon as you spin, you spit the sunflower seed in it,
Yeah.
makes it really really small into these particles, and then
Right.
maybe there's something else that gets rid of the actual sunflower seeds. Like
Well, it's
there's
all,
another
think
stage.
about it.
I don't
Sunflower
know.
seeds are compostable, right? So like basically, all you would have to do is even if you like had them all in the bottle, right? You could just make the bottle, and then say you want to grind them up. You just throw a blade in there, and then like make it a salt shaker or a pepper shaker. Grind it up in there, and then open up the bottom, compost that bad boy. Like boom, there it is. But you don't even.
And
Have,
then
yeah,
you
but
come
you don't
back
have
in
to.
Let's be business partners, dude.
Yeah, but you don't have to. You don't even have to grind them up, right? Because
Yeah.
they're sunflower seeds.
Right,
They decompose
exactly.
themselves.
They're already small as shit.
Right, but I mean, if you do grind them up, it's gonna decompose a little easier, obviously. But birds will eat that. You know what I mean? Like you throw them outside, like birds will eat sunflower seeds.
Bird food.
Wow, you bird food for
Bird
like
food.
Wow,
Yeah,
that idea.
but
already
birds
sounds
aren't
better.
real. You know?
Would you say birds aren't real?
No, I'm just kidding.
I
No.
was like,
Wait, what is that? What is that from?
What,
It's from the.
Like from the government?
yeah. So
Oh,
they like work
yeah,
for the
okay.
government and the bourgeoisie or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
bullshit.
pigeons are spies.
I've killed a bird before. I know that.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
You ever like killed like a dove or anything like that?
I shot
And you open it up. You open up the throat, and all the seeds come out right when you get.
in their gullet.
Yeah, exactly. There
Yeah.
you go. There it is.
No, I've shot a
The
bird in
gullet,
my
yeah.
backyard before. I never like gutted it though.
Yeah.
But I was like
Put a little
7 with the
pigeon,
Red Ryder
A
BB
little
gun.
quail. He's just.
I want to go duck hunting or like teal hunting this season though.
I've only
Think of
eaten
my-
duck once.
Really?
It's super
It's
good.
pretty. Yeah, I was gonna say. Have you ever had
Super
rabbit?
good. I haven't had rabbit.
It's pretty
no.
good.
I hate snake though. Snake's pretty good.
Ah.
snake.
Alligator
Snake?
too. Alligator.
I've had
I like
alligator.
alligator.
Alligator's like
Have you had-
chicken, but even more
have you had-
rubbery.
Have you had calamari?
I know.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love
it's
calamari.
disgusting.
Frog legs? You don't like calamari?
Oh God.
Frog
no.
legs.
Bro, frog
Foul,
legs are like
bro. It's
chicken legs.
disgusting.
Yeah.
I'm a really weird texture person.
Me too.
Like I hate mashed
That's why I
potatoes.
don't eat pickles. Like, yeah,
Pickles?
pickles. I hate pickles.
Like what kind of pickles? Like
dill pickles.
What kind of
It's like-
pickles are there?
well, like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
like
what
not
kind of
like the
different
thick
pickles
kind
are
or like the thin kind.
Any pickles.
Dill pickle, I guess is what I'm saying.
What
but
about
like,
cucumbers?
Cucumbers? No, not totally. No, I'll put them in my water because
That's
I like
hard,
the taste
though,
of
like-
it.
That's like That's a.
But it's still mushy in the inside. Not as
I guess
mushy,
so.
you know. But
Like
cucumbers are okay. It's like if like I will eat them, you know.
So
Especially
like, could you get pickles on a burger like when they're
Uh-uh.
sliced? Is that weird?
So Chick-fil-A, you go no pickles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you serious?
100%, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I don't do pickles. I love the taste. I just can't do the texture.
I was gonna say
That's
'cause,
why
like,
tomatoes,
'cause
like
they're,
tomatoes are the same thing.
What about pickle juice?
tomatoes are disgusting.
Pickle juice is good. Pickle
See,
juice is
that's
good.
just.
It's the flavor that's fine, but it's like the texture itself. I just can't do it.
Yeah, I
like-
don't like. You don't like tomatoes?
Uh-uh.
You like tomatoes?
oh,
I
hell
hate
no.
tomatoes.
No, my dad. I've seen my dad just take out a tomato, wash it, salt and pepper, like an
No,
apple. I'm like,
no,
oh
no.
god, you're going to hell.
Yeah, that's terrible. I don't know why that's even.
See, a pickle though, like I can
That's some vegan stuff that I don't even deal with.
Yeah.
To like,
like a cucumber though. It's. I guess that's soft in the middle a little bit.
Well, it's a
yeah,
pickle.
I'm saying like I will eat a cucumber.
Like a
but
cucumber, like
Cucumbers
Yeah, but
are
I'm
not-
saying,
it's not
like,
my number
I
one
could see
option
how,
on the
like,
menu.
I could see how, like if it's presented differently, like
Mhm.
like sliced pickles,
Right.
or like a whole pickle, like you know what I'm saying. You don't see the inside of it until you bite it. I don't know where I'm really going with this, but like,
But it's just
like
still,
I just feel like
I can
I'm
feel
just
it.
trying. The
Like-
texture is just. I just think that's a weird thing not enjoy.
yeah,
Like
I know.
regardless of how it's presented, like I could eat a whole pickle like whole, or I could cut it up and put it on a burger, or put it on.
No, I have some weird preferences. Like I love pizza, but I don't eat cheese off like on burgers or anything.
Like,
Hmm.
so is it? Do you like melted cheese? Like, could you have like a melted, like
I think
like slice of American cheese on a burger? Does it have to be melted?
it would have to be melted. Yeah.
See, I'm like that too. Like, when
I can't feel it. It has to be like melted into like if it's hard, I'm like
dude,
So
why
what
is
about
it
I
hard?
agree with
nachos?
that shit.
Nachos, see that's like too much. That like I know what
Like, too
what
melted?
nacho cheese is made out of. If it's like all really good, but if it's like comes from a can, I'm like,
Dude,
that's gonna need to
I used to
stop.
work-
like it's. Not
I used to
good.
work concessions at the BYBA fields, right? Like 2 years ago, dude. And the nacho cheese you get. Oh my
If it-
god, I've. Oh, it's disgusting.
Bro, worse than that. We worked at Jack in the Box.
Oh, we did work at Jack in the
Oh,
Box.
yeah.
I've seen some.
I'm sure that's some healthy food right there.
Oh, awesome, dude.
All
one time,
organic.
I remember
They're
one time
actually-
Tucker dropped the sandwich on the floor and handed it out.
I can see him doing that too.
Oh no, dude. No, I actually used to be like. I used to actually be I'm not a germaphobe, but
Uh-huh.
I used to be like really OCD about when I would be working at Jack in the Box. If I did anything with like, if I was working with the gloves, right, I had my gloves on,
Mhm.
and I touched anything that I thought was dirty, I would take off those gloves, wash my hands, put in new gloves on before I did anything.
Dang.
So I don't know how many pairs of gloves I went through and how many times I washed my hands. I just was kind of OCD. Is like, I don't want my, because like, what if I, for example, right, like let's just say I'm taking buns out, and let's say I drop a bun, right,
Mhm.
and I go pick it up, like that was on the floor. Like,
Mhm.
you shouldn't be go making food after that. Like,
No.
you definitely should go fucking throw those gloves away and wash your hands.
I would agree.
I should just kick him.
Because
bro.
you,
dropped
if,
Yeah,
it.
see-
if that was your burger,
Exactly. I'm like, if that was my, that's
Yeah.
how I,
imagine if someone did that to your burger. you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I thought.
What you don't know don't hurt you, bro.
Except for coronavirus
Coronavirus. No, there was,
on Jack in the Box's ground on the floor.
What's up?
Out in
What's
the
up,
kitchen.
Chino?
there was some,
Chino just commented, but what's up, Kevin? So
there were some weird
sorry.
people that worked at Jack in the Box, bro. It was like,
Yeah.
just like, wow.
I feel like that was such a good job for us, though. Like that was such a good learning experience. Like it sucked.
I feel like
it
everyone
sucked
has to go
ass.
through that just to appreciate
Like a shitty
it
job?
little
It's a
bit.
shitty job.
I
yeah.
would always
I've
tell.
never had a crappy job actually.
I was thinking, didn't you work at Target though?
I did, but that wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. Yeah, I was a lifeguard before that, and that wasn't too bad either. It was harder, but it didn't suck. It was actually pretty easy. Target just sucked because it got boring after a while, because you were just standing at a cash register scanning everything for a while. But then like as soon as you made friends, it was okay. But then when I got a job like Ninja Nation, I was like, dude, I'm gonna have so much fun for the rest of my life. Like not only do I get to train when I get bored, but I just could do whatever.
I guess the only fun job I've had is being electrical apprentice. Like, I've had pretty boring jobs. Besides, I mean, Jack in the Box wasn't boring. It was always eventful. Like, there's always some weird shit that went down every shift.
Yeah.
Like, I remember one time, like one of my first, the butter dollop, the girl the old lady that wanted to
There's so
murder
many
me.
stories there, bro.
Dude, yeah, there's so many, but like, there's meth heads that they've been caught in the bathroom before, and there's
Oh, I'm sure.
it's funny, dude. Like
It's
just
just the
being
place.
there and
My mom called it Jack in the Crack.
That's what everyone
I call
calls
it
it.
Jack
Yeah.
in the Crack.
Oh, you
yeah.
do? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, just making
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, dude, yeah.
There was a guy I worked with, JJ, who literally got his ass beat by a homeless person there.
Really?
I have the video on my phone. Like,
That's awesome.
No, it's
like fucked up. Like got his ass beat.
He's probably on meth.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
no,
no
and what's
doubt,
crazier, we
dude.
were about to hire him. Like the next day, he was gonna
He's just
start
in the middle of the
working. Oh,
interview
shit,
and just
really? I
starts
didn't know
popping
that.
off. Yeah.
No,
that's
yeah.
crazy.
I've seen some weird stuff at Jack in the Box.
Yeah.
I almost got a not sued, but
the butter doll.
No, with Dixie, remember?
Oh my god,
Dude.
bro.
All right, so I've told this story before. I think I've told it on here. This is a true story, I swear to God. I was Jack in the Box. I was working with
Sounds so weird taking
Braden Schlitt was working there. Bo Holes
Bo. Oh, I
Yep,
love Bo.
was
Bo's
working there,
awesome.
and it was me, and another guy named Gavin, who was like an assistant manager or whatever,
Okay.
right? And there's this old ass piss lady, like in her 80s,
Okay.
and I felt
70s, stop. Like late 60s.
all right, okay, maybe. Anyway, dude, I never worked with her before, but I have heard stories from him and from Braden and from this guy named Anthony that, like, she was kind of a bitch. You know, I'm just gonna call it how it is, and that she would talk to herself, dude, and she was kind of like hard to work with. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So, it's like a night shift or whatever. I don't know what day it was, and I was working whatever, and me and Bo. It was super slow, dude. Me and Bo are going, or we're roasting each other, and I'm on the line. That's all I ever
Dude, it
did.
takes a lot to get roasted by Bo. Bo's got some fire lines.
I know, dude. He would roast me, and I would go back at him. We would, whatever. It was just,
It's not even fair.
just just us being dudes, whatever,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And he was, he said, because I was on the line. That's all I ever did. And he said, you know what? Go make me a sandwich, bitch. And I was like, if I'm making you a sandwich, I'm gonna put my dick in it first. Like, and then all I hear is stomp, 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 stomp. Dixie comes out from the back. Hey, watch your mouth. Who said that? And I was like, I didn't say it. He said it. And dude, she was pissed. And she already had it. She knew it was me. She like said it directly at me, whatever, right? So then, like half an hour later, bro, on the line, right on the far left side, there's a refrigerator on the bottom shelf where they put like all of the
setups.
all the setups, yeah, all the
Okay,
setups like
okay.
for burritos and
Right.
chicken, whatever. And we got an order, and I was like behind Dixie talking to Braden, and she was in the way of where we were walking. She was out in the middle of the open. So we got an order, so I went back to go grab gloves, and Braden was right there too. So I squeezed in between them, and I accidentally, swear to God, kneed her in the back. I swear to God, I was just going between them, and I kneed her right in the back. And I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you okay?" And she said under her breath, like, "I'm sure you are." And I was like, I like looked at Gavin, who was the assistant manager, and we just all started laughing, dude. But then, like half an hour later, Gavin pulls me into the office. He's like, "Hey, bro, I just want to let you know, like, Dixie's gonna like file a complaint towards you, towards HR." And I was like, "For what?" She's like, "Because of her, you intentionally need her, according to her." And I was like,
God.
"Oh my God!" And then I didn't even want to be at Jack in the Box anymore. So
Right,
I texted
right.
my boss. I was like, "This bitch, like, whatever."
Right.
I pled my case, whatever, or pleaded my case. My bad. And then whatever, dude. So then she was about to leave, and I grabbed my phone, recorded the conversation, went up to her, and had voice memos open. I put my phone on the table, and we went through and talked about it. And nothing ended up happening, dude. But I almost quit. That was almost
Really?
my last, dude. Yeah, that
Just because of this old
this
7-year-old
bitch,
lady?
bro. Yeah, I shouldn't call her a bitch.
Yeah.
I shouldn't
And-
call her that, but like,
Rest in peace to Dixie too. She passed. She
no, she didn't.
2 months ago. Yeah.
No. Yeah, I knew he was lying. I was like, "There's no way."
I hope not, dude. I shouldn't. Look, I shouldn't be calling her names, dude. But I
Puts
was
it on the screen. R.I.P. Dixie.
just R.I.P. like
2020.
1940 to
Yeah,
2020.
Oh my god.
No, dude, I shouldn't. Look, I shouldn't. But I think Kevin can back me up. She was.
She had her days.
Yeah,
There were some days she was the sweetest lady.
Really,
and
I only
other
worked with her
days-
like 3 times.
Oh.
Dang.
Because she always was set up for morning shifts, and I never worked
Mhm.
morning, and I only worked night.
There's always that one person at work.
Yeah, dude, I was scared though.
That would be crazy if Tucker goes to jail for assaulting a 75-year-old woman at Jack.
And then
I was
John
scared,
Asbury the
dude.
next day he's there.
I was
forever.
scared.
He's there.
I won't lie, dude. It happened like Dude, it happened in like February or March of last year.
Uh-huh.
Like around this time.
Dude,
It happened,
that's
and I
nuts.
was so scared. But yeah, that's
I'm pretty sure Tucker texted me and told me, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, because Kevin wasn't working there. Kevin, you weren't working there at the time.
Damn.
I was working at. Yeah, I was.
You were?
I quit in May.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I was pissed.
Dang.
Yeah, so that's
Hey.
one of the stories that I've.
Do you know the KVCU radio station for Boulder? For the school?
I don't actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
I used to host it.
Oh really?
Yeah, like the CU student radio.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely. I'm not gonna lie. I don't listen to that.
Yeah,
so,
no,
yeah.
but no one did. But
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that you got to.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
well, I was a junior too, and I did it. But
Oh really?
Yeah, shit, you were. That's right.
that was dope.
I forgot about that for a second.
I forget about it sometimes, bro. And then like I'll make a resume, and be like, you know what,
Yeah,
bro,
put-
fucking
you know,
radio
yeah.
host.
Yeah, right.
Up in this
Yeah.
bit,
Yeah,
98
man.
KVCU 98.9, 1190 AM.
Would you just play music?
I'd play music and talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had some people on. Dude, the month after I left, Tech 9 on the same
oh,
show.
God,
so
that's
pissed.
I'd been pissed.
I was
too.
so
sick.
pissed.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
sick. It's sick. Yeah. It's pretty nuts.
Damn,
Zed
dude.
Zed came to campus for our welcome fest this year.
Yeah.
That was nuts.
He lives
That
in Colorado,
was-
I think.
Yeah.
You know who Zed is?
It honestly sounds familiar. I
God.
feel like I've heard that before.
What's the name Zed song that's like
There's a ton of them. I don't
the
know
most
which one.
popular one, bro? Like
I don't know.
like
I could
20
pull up the
like
album.
2014 everybody Clarity. Clarity.
Clarity.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
okay,
Yes,
okay, yeah.
yes.
Yeah, but no, they came for Welcome Fest. They do that like every year. Not specifically Zed's dead, but they'd bring like someone famous and they come and do a whole rave, right? And this rave is just so nuts. It takes up like the whole business field, and everyone's just gone, just on the moon because they're the first week in college. Their parents aren't around, you know, and like it was so nuts because Zed's dead. Like their music is insane, but then like in a rave. Like a rave kind of an aspect, it was on another planet. And then we started like 7 rows in the beginning because we got there pretty early and just kind of, I'm small, so I like maneuvered, you know. And so then like the football players came and they all got in the front, and then we started getting pushed to the front, and then
shit.
it ended up being like a mosh pit up there, dude. It was so nuts. But like if you they can't really regulate who actually goes to those. So so like if I'll let you guys know if we're welcome.
Yeah, that's
because
sick,
yeah,
dude.
if it's like Zed's dead or something or like all that, like it'd be so if
That'd be sick.
yeah, you guys could go to that.
Let
'cause-
us know. Let us
yeah.
know.
Yeah, you and Jenna could go and everything.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good shit, dude. Well, man, it was really nice talking to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
I
had a
have
really
one
good
more
time.
thing for you guys,
Of course.
actually. So this is the first ever Gnarly Nate t-shirt to ever actually be made, and I wrote it out to you guys and signed it. For the top
hell
of the
yeah.
shit, dude.
Yeah,
Bro,
so
let's-
it's the very first one. I even cut the sleeves off, actually, because that was what stage I was at. But yeah, I wrote Topic Podcast. It's all signed and everything. You guys can hang it up in here.
Oh,
Dude,
dude,
that's
fuck yeah, we'll go
sick.
right there,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, so you
Fucking
guys
kidding
can hang
me
that
for
up.
that.
Yeah, that's the first one. I actually made it at like that 5280
Dude,
shop in Brighton.
That's sick,
Well,
bro.
we'll have to take a picture with that after.
Yeah.
yeah,
hell yeah.
totally.
That's
yeah.
sweet, dude.
So
Thank you, man. We appreciate that.
Yeah, totally. That was my first shirt ever made. Made it 5280, like right next to Brighton. On
Yeah.
my way to like that Bromley comp or whatever, that one by Bromley Farms.
Yeah.
And ended up wearing it, and I mean that was like as I wasn't that good, you know, but that was like the first one I ever wore, and then like I was looking at it today, like trying to look for this shirt, but I remembered I had put it away because I don't want to wear it till the show, but then I wanted to show them obviously, so but yeah, that's just been sitting in my closet, so I was like, screw it, man, I'll just like they need some more decor
Hell
back
yeah,
here.
bro.
Sick,
So,
yeah.
Dude, yeah, we'll hang it up for sure.
Sweet, man.
Yeah, I've been
Awesome.
trying to add shit around here, bro. I got the Kobe shrine.
We had a.
Oh,
I got the
yeah.
wolf.
Where's that? We had a. I bought a Trump bobblehead.
Oh really?
Yeah, and when I went to DC in
It's somewhere around
November. Yeah, we had it up here for a while. I don't know where it's at, but
yeah,
yeah, bro.
that's awesome. Well, you guys can add it to your collection.
Oh, hell yeah, we're gonna. That's sick, dude. That's history right there.
Yeah, bro.
Absolutely. Who knows? Maybe I make it big, but I don't know if you could sell it. It says Topic Podcast on it. Find a way to.
Fuck no, we're not selling this.
Fuck
You
no,
kidding
we're
me?
not selling it. Hell no.
Yeah.
Maybe when you win.
Yeah. Right. yeah. Right.
Yeah, make some money
Yeah.
off it.
Yeah. Hopefully that's the case this year. We'll see.
Yeah.
Good shit, bro.
Rookie season,
Faithful
so.
about it.
Before we sign off, why don't you drop your socials real
Yes, yeah. So for whoever doesn't follow me already, you guys can follow me on Instagram at Gnarly Ninja Nate, which is it's not starting with an N, so I'll spell it out for you guys. It's GNARLY and then Ninja Nate. No, what do you call them?
Like no spaces,
underscores
no
or anything.
underscores,
Yeah, it's just Gnarly Ninja Nate. And then if you guys want to add me on Snap or anything like that, that's Nathan12 Hansen. And then my Facebook too. I'm on Facebook a lot too, posting all my runs and stuff. But yeah, I try and post all my runs and all my cool skills that I've got, stuff like that. Kind of grow my social platform. So I'd appreciate your guys' support because less than a month, be performing on the big stage. So
That's awesome.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
man. Yeah, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it, and best of luck this weekend. And for furthermore, dude, you're gonna kill it. Bro.
thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me.
Of course, brother.
All right, that wraps it up. So everybody have a good week and good luck to Nate coming up. So
Thank
we'll
you.
see you guys later.
See you.